Well, welcome back to Dig In. We've left Sarah's house and headed to Keith's house, which I think it's always great how you seem to rickadickle me into helping you in your vegetable garden.
Do what, Ahuda?
Rickadickle.
Okay, that's a new one for me. What we've planted so far are some lettuces. MJ's back here planting broccoli. These are just some pea seeds here. I've inoculated them, and you just sprinkle them through the row here. Nothing real scientific about it. And just barely cover them up with soil, water them in. They'll be up in about a week or 10 days. You could also be putting in things like onions, either from sets like this or from plants. I typically go with the plants. Even though these look really rough, they take right off as soon as you get them in the ground. And lilies. Lilies, this is a great time to put lilies in because they're just barely starting to emerge from the bulbs in these packages. And you plant them a good 6 inches deep, so they're well below the ground. No frost is going to bother them. So we've got the planting going on well here. I'll get this all watered in when we're done this afternoon. And the next project that we'll need to do is to put some fertilizer down. I neglected to tell everybody in those pots at Sarah's house, you need to fertilize these things, especially the plants in the pots.
Now, we prepped this bed today with a compost that Blaine so graciously gave us. But if you can and you have the space, you don't always have to buy compost. And I think you actually have quite a nice pile started over there.
I do. I don't like to throw anything in the trash can if I can compost it. So let's go back there and take a look at that.
So Keith, I see that you've completely cleaned up all of your beds already this year.
Exactly.
And
when you've got a yard this size, you get a lot of debris.
You have a lot of debris, and a lot of that debris is right here.
Ta-da. Yes. And it's going to end up going in these compost bins. But before I put this really rough stuff that will take a long time to decompose in their present state, I like to take the stuff and I'll either run my lawnmower over it or use a chipper. So if you have to, if you can't do it mechanically, at least do it by hand. Go through and break this stuff up into little pieces so it decomposes more quickly. And it's always nice to get about a 50-50 mix of green and brown. Green being fresh vegetation, like grass clippings.
Grass.
Yeah, exactly. 50% green, 50% brown. One of the best things you can do is to take your compost bins off this thing here. Let's lift them off, turn everything with a pitchfork, refill your compost bin, maybe use some compost starter, a little bit of soil from your garden, moisture. A little moisture, and a little patience, and you will get a good compost. Now I like to turn this about once every month or so.
So that is composting 101.
Keep it simple, keep it easy. I mean, you can make it a lot more complicated than what we just talked about, but why would you want to? Let's keep it easy.
Coming up next, we're headed out to the HGTV Green Home, visiting with Brad Fox, who's the landscaper that designed all of the landscaping around the home. And after that, we'll be visiting with our main man, Chef Mick. Coming up on Dig In.